Good morning. Good morning. As usual, I'm making the video just when I just woke up, which, yeah. Let's talk about something very controversial, which is chronic Epstein Barr virus or Epstein Barr virus reactivation that comes along with Lyme and any autoimmune disease and so on and on and on. I'm first gonna try to explain the kind of official version of it or alternative official version of it, and then I'm gonna give my opinion about what is really happening with all this. So Epstein-Barr virus, EBV, in chronic fatigue syndrome, autoimmune diseases again. Whenever the immune system fails because of toxicity, we have this virus going on. Yeah, it's best known as the cause of mononucleosis, but its role in chronic illness is far more extensive. Up to 95% of the world population have been exposed to EBV, and for most people, it remains dormant. For others, EBV periodically reactivates, contributing to chronic fatigue, immune regulation, mitochondrial dysfunction, and autoimmune disease. Diagnostics of chronic reactivated EBV can be challenging, and conventional, medication generally have limited efficacy or they don't work at all. However, new research continues to clarify how EBV contributes to long-standing symptoms and why identifying and treating EBV reactivation can be so essential for individuals with chronic illness, basically. So EBV is a member of the herpes virus family, along with HHV6, CMV, which is cytomegalovirus, HSV, V is a varicella zoster virus, basically. Like herpes viruses, EBV can persist in the body for life. I believe many other infections do. Uh, yeah. EBV's life cycle, it's got the lytic active phase, the virus is replicating and producing symptoms, and the latent dormant phase, which is basically when it hides in B cells, avoiding detection. After the initial, let's say, infection into latency in B cells, when immune function is suppressed or stressed, those B cells can reactivate, allowing EBV to enter a new cycle and infect additional cells, let's say. Reactivation is more likely when the immune system is under stress. Let's say other infections like Lyme disease, parasites, fungi, bacteria, all tick-borne infections and co-infections, and so on. Elevated toxin burden, including mycotoxins, toxic metals, especially mercury, high stress, poor sleep, overexertion, immune suppression, from any other thing. This combination of viral persistence and immune vulnerability is why EBV plays such a crucial role in chronic illness. Immune dysregulation, how EBV affects the immune system. One of the most significant problems with EBV is how it disrupts normal immune function. EBV reactivation increases inflammatory cytokines such as EL6, EL8, TNF-A, EFN, and EL10, all of which contribute to fatigue, body aches, brain fog, and poor recovery exertion. EBV also drives immune exhaustion, especially in CD8 T cells, the cell responsible for clearing virally infected cells. When these T cells become exhausted, they struggle to control EBV, allowing the virus to remain active at a low level. The smoldering immune activity keeps inflammation elevated and can worsen symptoms. Because EBV reactivation is often triggered by other immune stressors such as mold, toxins, chronic infections, or significant emotional and physical stress, the virus becomes one of the several contributors to a chronically activated immune state. So basically, conditions associated with EBV reactivation would be all of those in which Lyme is underneath and all these toxins are going on, which are the same disease with different names, in my opinion, basically. So, Uh, so from chronic Lyme, long COVID, ME/CFS, MS, systemic lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, autoimmune thyroiditis, ulcerative colitis, Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Burkitt's lymphoma, and so on and on and on. It's very well known as well because I can't remember the name right now, where you get, have your face paralyzed, which happens and happened to me for a while as well. EBV and chronic fatigue syndrome, this is like the most common one, let's say. It has been linked to ME/CFS for decades, and new research continues to support it. Many individuals with ME/CFS report that their symptoms begin after a viral illness. Studies show that EBV reactivation is more common than in healthy individuals, not to get it reactivated, let's say. Importantly, EBV does not need to be fully active to cause symptoms. Even doing partial reactivation, EBV can produce, proteins that activate the immune system and increase inflammatory cytokines. This can worsen fatigue, sleep disturbances, cognitive issues, post-exertional malaise. I can't remember the name, the Huntington phase thing. EBV also interferes with autophagy, these process cells used to clear out damaged components. So a reduction in autophagy leads to mitochondrial dysfunction. A core feature of ME/CFS research shows that EBV reactivation decreases reactive oxygen species, ROS, and correlates with a decline in mitochondrial number and efficiency. This combination of immune activation and impaired energy production helps explain why EBV plays such a substantial role in ME/CFS. So exactly the same would happen in what they call long COVID. MS, exactly the same thing again. Lupus, same thing again. Because basically, and this is important, we're again fighting the same disease. It's not like we have different names for all these diseases and we, somehow catch them and we have a different name for it. It's not. It's the same disease, which at its base, it's basically toxicity. A gut that is a mess, probably, toxicity, and all these systems end up failing. With time, obviously, what I believe really Epstein Barr is, or what we call reactivation of Epstein Barr is a mechanism that the body has to clear dead cells, and to clear toxins. So I wouldn't take this. We should go into what really a virus is, which deserves a whole other video. Saying, like many people say, yeah, viruses do not exist. Well, they are not what we've been told, I believe. No, I believe it's a clearing mechanism that the body uses once, it's trying to heal and it's overwhelmed with toxicity. That's what I would believe that really a virus is. So, obviously, in someone that the immune system failed because of toxicity, again, heavy metals, mold, mycotoxins, stress, because of the same inflammation, having a nervous system that is on fire, Lyme, Bartonella, Babesia, all these together, parasites, environmental toxins, all of it. A gut that is a mess, a liver that is congested as hell, all these crashes with different names because of different symptoms have the same underlying origins, which are these ones. Which one is more prevalent in you? You can check these things, and it's not really a trial error situation. It's a lifestyle change where you need to go one by one until eventually the body and the terrain recovers equilibrium. This is what really Epstein Barr virus is. Because I do not believe in a virus coming to you to it. But I do believe this mechanism is what the body uses to start clearing all the crap, and that produces symptoms, and this is what we call EBV. So we need to find out which of these toxins, which of this messed up the terrain enough to cause this. So yeah. In meanwhile, obviously you can use herbal things. I would not recommend really antivirals or prescription antivirals. They are completely useless and, in my opinion, kind of toxic. There is SOT as well, which is very much used in Lyme too. But again, putting all this together, this is very impactful, basically. And many times, the chronic form, like with Lyme disease, is not going to be showing. They're going to tell you it's like a past infection and this and that, which is not. Yeah, so it's kind of complex, but no matter if you have EBV or Lyme or the combination or whatever name you want to put to your disease, you're basically having the same problem, which is at different levels. No, like for instance, for me, at the beginning, it was just absolutely horrible, because it went straight into the nervous system and it had enough time to have such a high level of toxicity, crazy enough, that it went to the brain, nervous system, and then I had what they call neurolyme and Bartonella flaring and so on and on. But the thing is, going and trying to yeah, which we should really redefine what this virus is, because again, I believe in, the terrain being the problem and having lost this equilibrium because of toxicity. And this would be like the mechanism that actually is clearing it from your body. So trying to go and kill a virus is just totally useless, because the virus itself, I believe, does not really exist as we've been told, but it's more a clearing mechanism that the body uses to make or get rid of all this crap, which would explain why autophagy gets like stuck, because the body cannot cope with so many toxins at the time it's trying. It does make a lot of sense if you see it that way. But then obviously if you're taking antivirals or that kind of thing, it's just not going to work at all. you know if you are not doing everything else at the same time. So yeah, this one is a bastard as well. When things happen in the brain, especially, having this horrible encephalitis from hell and so on. But what I wanted to make it, very clear, is that all these diseases, which all have in common this reactivation, I believe this reactivation is a clearing toxic mechanism that the body has. And what we actually need to do is keep clearing, clear detoxing, helping the body detox, making the terrain back to normal again, and so on and on and on. And that's what EBB is. So, doing anything else to that, or trying to stop the immune system, corticoids, all this crazy shit that doctors that don't know much about this do, obviously is gonna eventually bring you some sort of cancer, some sort of anything like that, you know. So it's again a sign, as all these symptoms are there to be listened to and understood in a way that you can be proactive and find the root causes, actually act in them. And yeah, so that'll be it. That was a long one, and some will like it, some not. But this is what I know about it. So it really is a lost battle unless you see it that way and you start clearing the terrain, clearing the toxins, and finding out. Oh, and also obviously putting your nervous system back into place. It's like a combination of all these things and the terrain that's gonna heal you from this and maintain it, and not the other way around. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Please subscribe, and I'll see you again.